Hello, I'm Jeff Baxter of Hollywood Foundry with another in our series of tutorials. In this tutorial I will show you how to obtain, set up and use the Hollywood Foundry Scale Calculator. ScaleCalc is a small computer application for use on PCs running any version of Microsoft Windows. There is no version available for the Mac platform, however it should run on Macs that are using the Windows emulation mode. The application is quite small, it's only 4 megabytes in size and can be downloaded from the Hollywood Foundry website free of charge. It downloads as a zipped up file containing a simple Windows installation file. In use, ScaleCalc takes up little space and sits on top of any program you are using, so if you're working on a drawing in a CAD package, it can sit to one side like the ubiquitous toolbars found in many packages these days. To download ScaleCalc, open your browser and in the search box type Hollywood Foundry as a single word. You can see I've already selected that, so that brings it up very quickly, and you'll find that we're the first item on the list. On the website, locate the download tab, click on it, and there's the scale calculator as the first item in the list. If you right click on the link and choose Save Target As, I would suggest that you select and save it onto the desktop. It should take very little time to download it. It's only 4 megabytes in size. When the download is completed, close everything and it should appear over here on your desktop. Now, this is a zip file which will open in any version of Windows. Double click on it and it will open up and show you Setup Exe. Double click on Setup Exe and go through the normal installation process. You can just choose all the default arrangements for this and it should work fine. Done. Very quick. Now you'll find over here that we have a link to ScaleCalc and we have the original zipped up file. You can right click on that and delete it, as you won't be needing it any longer. Now double click on ScaleCalc to open it. Well, I guess the first question is, what does ScaleCalc do for me? Well, it's very simple. It's just an on-screen scale calculator. It allows you to take any dimension in feet and inches or in meters from a drawing of a prototype locomotive, for example, and convert it down to the appropriate scale for the model that you're building. You can change that scale, so you can work on HO, OO, O gauge. You can even define your own scale if you wish. The principle is very simple. At the top there are two input boxes, one in feet and one in inches, and convert to a box down here which is the result in millimeters or in inches. If you don't wish to work in feet and inches, by clicking on the scale you can change the input scale to meters, and it becomes the form of 1.2 meters, for example, which would be 1200 millimeters, and the results are still the same. Going back to the original feet and inches, we'll show you what happens. If we, for example, take the value of 6 feet, it converts in HO scale to 21 millimeters, or a value of 0.827. You do get a result in both millimeters and inches, so you can work in either your choice of metric measurements or imperial measurements. If you want to do an entry in fractions of feet, then simply enter a value of, say, 12.25, and we come up with a value of 42.875, which is the same as 12 tab 3 inches. Similarly, you can enter a value in here of 109 inches if you wish, and it will do the conversion. Not only that, this calculator works in almost every conceivable direction. If you wish, you can enter a value down here of 21 scale millimeters and it will tell you what the prototypical value is in feet and inches. At the same time, it does a conversion from millimeters across to inches, so you can simply use it as a metric to imperial converter. Likewise, you can put in a value here of, say, 1 inch, and it will tell you that that's 25.4 millimeters, or in HO scale, that's 7'3", 0.086 inches. so it can work in any given direction. In terms of the choice of scales, you have HO, OO, O scale at 7mm, O scale at 1/48, S scale and N scale defined as the unit is supplied. If you wish to add your own scale, simply double click on the Hollywood Foundry icon and it will bring up an edit scale. You'll note here that the very last entry here is N at 1/160th scale. Now some people operate on a slightly different version of N, so we'll type in N and we'll put in brackets 1/20th scale equals, and then the scale factor itself, which is 1/120th. If we then close that, it's automatically saved and it will stay there forever from then on. We've then added one extra scale to the value, and there it is down the bottom. N scale at 1/120th. Also note that when we change scale, the output in millimeters and inches changes each time you change it. So you can do simultaneously you can do simultaneous conversions by simply changing the scale. If you need any help, click on the Help button and it brings up a little page of information on how to use the calculator. For those of you who are having difficulty seeing it in this size, clicking on the Up button here brings it up in scale, and it steps up eventually to reach a maximum size. It's this size that you see now. Likewise, clicking on the Down button takes it back down in size. This is particularly useful for people who are a little bit visually challenged. If you want to go directly to the biggest size, then all you do is go to the Font Size button and double click, and it leaps to the maximum size. Similarly, if you double click on it again, it goes back to where it was before. That's about all we need to tell you. If you have any ideas or any suggestions, please send us an email at the address shown on the screen. Thank you for watching.